My dear children, I stand before you to give the Christmas message. And I'm glad that you have become silent as I'm continuing my speech. It's a little odd on my side because you can see me, but I cannot see you at all. You are in total darkness. Probably I can assume that you are listening. And I know it's very difficult to listen to a speech when we are awaiting wonderful and colorful programs in connection with Christmas. All I can tell you as an assurance is what Henry VIII told his wives. I shall not keep you for long. Christmas, and that too at KANE. What brings us together as a group? I'm sure the peak of nostalgia is what compels us to be here today. And I'm sure it's an attempt to recapture and relive the joys of our previous days that we have left behind and still cherish to keep in our hearts. The joy of Christmas in our homeland. And I'm sure all sitting here have some sort of a memory associated with Christmas. And it's widely said there are 4 stages in the life of a man. ഒരു മനുഷ്യന്റെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ 4 stages ഉണ്ട്. ഒരു പുരുഷന്റെ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച്. There is a stage when he believes in the idea of Santa Claus. Then there is another stage where he doesn't believe that there is a Santa Claus. The third is the stage when he is the Santa Claus. And the fourth is he looks like a Santa Claus. We love Christmas for some or the other reason. If I ask you, you will each one of you will have something. It might be the candles and the lightings. It might be the cards that you have received with wonderful greetings. It might be the cakes, especially the plum cakes that we have made and exchanged during the season of Christmas. It might be the carols that we sung or listened to during Christmas. And it might also be the wonderful cuisines and the good cheer of friends and family during Christmas. Something or the other hinges our hearts to this great event of Christmas. But what is Christmas? I am forced, about which I am not ashamed, to speak a little about God and theology in this respect, because Christmas is nothing but God's intervention into history. It's a celebration of a memory, a spiritual reflection, or a remembrance of something that happened in history. So Christmas is a celebration of God's love for the world through the birth of a child, Jesus. And the Holy Bible, which is the sacred book of the Christians, say, the people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. And that is Christmas in sum. The people in darkness saw a great light. So, today as we are here to celebrate Christmas, let me remind you that it is an enlivening memory which serves today as a reminder. The first thing that I would like to point out today is Christmas is a reminder that God is with us, inspiring us to be better. You might be knowing that Jesus is otherwise called Emmanuel. And the word Emmanuel actually means God is with us. And Christmas is a reminder that God is with us, inspiring us to be better. And this is a worldwide message of Christmas, if you ask me. Is it nice to have your parents with you all the time? If you ask the little children, they may have a difference of opinion. I don't want my father and mother to be always monitoring me, to be with me. But if you ask an adult, the question and the answer might vary. But God is with his people. God is with the people. This is the wonderful message of Christmas. Let me tell you a story. And this story is titled The Box. A woman moved to another country for a time to work with a famous spiritual leader. And when her studies with that teacher leader was over, she returned home. And several days later, she received a package from her teacher. It was nothing but a carved, beautiful box. It was so beautiful, and she was left breathless on seeing that. The teacher's note accompanying the box said, "All I ask is that you place the box so that it faces east." And so the woman placed the box on the mantle in her living room, where it fit nicely and faced east. Just imagine this, a beautiful box kept in a room in her home. The woman was so admiring of this box, and she often went into the room to seriously sit with it. And the more she sat with the box, she was feeling that everything looked wrong and out of place in relation to that beautiful box. So she immediately started spending time rearranging her living room where the box was kept. And it was in harmony with the box to match the beauty of the box. As I now go around houses to visit my families in the parish, I see the houses very beautifully arranged for Christmas. Similarly, this lady was also trying to rearrange the whole place, whole living room in accordance to the beauty of the box. And now, she once finished that, and she was waiting. After a few days, she again went and saw that the dining room was not suiting the beauty of the box. She wanted to set it right. She wanted to harmonize the dining room with the living room so that it matches the beauty of the box. And similarly, she reoriented room by room the whole house so that everything somehow complemented this beautiful box. It took some time, but she did get everything in order. And eventually, her sight or her eyes went outside her home. She wanted to correct and beautify the world outside her home in connection with the box that she had within her living room. This is Christmas message. The presence of God in our lives, it compels us to reorient ourselves, our families, our homes, our working spaces, and the world at large. And that's why Christmas should be important for each and every one of us. In addition to the merriment, in addition to the carols, in addition to the cultural events that we have, Christmas should serve as a reminder that the Almighty, Ishwaran, Jagadishwaran is with us. And the presence of Ishwaran is inspiring us to be better. God is with us, and it inspires us to be better. And secondly, and lastly, what is Christmas? If you ask me, I have this as an answer. Christmas is again a reminder that in God, the whole of creation is one, inspiring us to be of service to one another. I repeat, Christmas is a reminder that in God, the whole of creation, or the creation as a whole, is one. The creation as a whole is one, irrespective of language, irrespective of gender, irrespective of our colors, our ethnicities. The whole of creation is one under God. Again, a story that might attract your attention. There was an old shoe cobbler who dreamed one Christmas Eve that Jesus would come to visit him. And the dream was so real that he was convinced it would come true. The next morning he got up and went out and decorated his little shop and got all ready for Jesus to come and visit. He was so sure that Jesus was going to come that he just sat down and waited for him. And the hours passed, but Jesus didn't come. But there was an old man who came. He came inside for a moment to get warm in that wintry climate. And the cobbler was talking to this old man, and he noted that the old man wore a tattered cloth, tattered shoe. And this cobbler that he was, he had nice shoes in his shelf, and he got a new pair of shoes prepared for this old man. And that man went, and the cobbler continued his wait for Jesus. But Jesus didn't come. And there came an old woman, a woman who hadn't had a decent meal in 2 days. And they sat together, and this cobbler prepared another meal for her to eat. And she was sent on her way. The cobbler continued his wait, but Jesus didn't come. Then came a little boy crying out in front of his shop. He was not knowing how to get back to his home. But the cobbler, he put on his coat, and he took the boy by his hand to his home. And he was reunited with his family. When he came back, it was almost close to night. It was almost dark, and the cobbler was sad that the dream didn't come to pass. Nothing happened. Jesus didn't come. And then he heard a voice saying, a voice that came out of the silence that prevailed in that home, in that room. "O cobbler, lift up your heart. I kept my word. 3 times I knocked at your friendly door, and 3 times my shadow fell across your floor. I was the man in the tattered shoe. I was the woman you gave to eat, and I was the little boy who was homeless." Jesus had come. The cobbler just didn't realize it. My dear brothers and sisters, my dear friends, Christmas is a reminder that in God, the whole of creation is one. We are responsible for each other. In a culture that is more and more or increasingly becoming individualistic, this is a welcome message, I would say, where we should consider each other as more than brothers and sisters, a whole family under God. Some gifts that you can give this Christmas season are beyond monetary value, meant a quarrel that you might have entered into. Dismiss suspicion amongst friends. Tell someone that I really like and love you. Give something away to people anonymously and don't take photographs of that. Forgive someone who has treated you wrong and turn away wrath with a soft answer. Do not pick up a quarrel. Visit someone who is old or sick or probably in a nursing home. Apologize to people if you are wrong. Be especially kind to someone with whom you work. This is what we can do to make Christmas more beautiful. The first thing that I wanted to say is, Christmas is a reminder that God is with us. And let that thought inspire us individually and as families and as groups and as association to be better in our demeanor. And secondly, let this Christmas be a reminder that in God, the creation as a whole is one, that we are brothers and sisters, and that we are keepers of each other. May our celebrations, may our coming together, may our association as Kerala Association of New England bring this beautiful message to the world. May our gatherings inspire many to be better people, better persons in connection with God as well. Thank you for inviting me here, and thank you for your patient listening. May you all have a beautiful, memorable Christmas and a blessed new year ahead of you. Thank you once again. God bless you all.